She walked past him every morning, a cup of coffee in her hand, and never thought twice. But today, something made her stop. A war, knout coat, trembling hands, eyes that told a story no words could capture. She reached for her wallet without thinking. What he said next left her heart breaking and rebuilding all at once. Maya was just an ordinary young woman, balancing the endless demands of work, bills, and a small apartment that barely fit her life. Every morning she walked the same route to the office, earbuds in, coffee in hand, lost in her own world. Life felt like a constant rush, emails, deadlines, and responsibilities piling on top of one another. She often wondered if anyone noticed her, really noticed her, beyond the smile she forced at coworkers or the polite nods in the elevator. On one particularly gray morning, with the city fog blending the skyline into a blur of gray and gold, she noticed him again. The man sitting on the cold curb, a tattered coat hanging loosely from his shoulders, a small cardboard sign pressed into the cracked pavement, hungry, anything helps. Maya had seen him countless times before, yet like most passers-by, she had never stopped. She told herself she was too busy, that she couldn't help everyone. But something in his eyes that morning, tired yet quietly hopeful, made her chest tighten. For reasons she couldn't quite explain, she bought an extra coffee from the corner cafe and approached him. Her heart pounded. She wasn't used to this kind of vulnerability, this openness to someone else's world. She held out the warm cup and whispered, "Here, I thought you might like this." The man looked up slowly, his eyes scanning her face, perhaps expecting pity or judgment. But instead, there was a softness there, a rare kind of gratitude that didn't need words. He took the cup carefully, as though it were fragile, as though it contained more than just coffee. It carried acknowledgement, a simple act of humanity she had almost overlooked in her busy mornings. For Maya, this small gesture felt like a tiny rebellion against the coldness of the world. She returned to her routine, feeling a strange mix of joy and unease. Joy because she had done something kind, and unease because the encounter reminded her of the countless others suffering in silence, unnoticed by a world too busy to look. Maya left for work, the warmth of the cup in his hands lingering in her mind. Something had shifted inside her. The day ahead felt different, like she had glimpsed a truth she had long ignored. Even the smallest acts of kindness could pierce through walls built by hardship and indifference. That afternoon, Maya's world seemed unusually heavy. Emails piled up like looming gray clouds. Her boss's criticism felt sharper than ever, and the subway ride home was crowded, smelly, and loud. Life's little inconveniences began to feel enormous, and for a moment she questioned the purpose of even small gestures of kindness. As she walked home, she passed a group of teenagers laughing at someone lying on the street. She slowed her pace, stomach twisting, as she realized it was the same man from the morning. His cardboard sign now crumpled and dirty, his coat even more ragged. He was shivering as he tried to shield himself from the wind. The teenagers shoved coins into his cup mockingly, laughing at the way he tried to protect the small plastic container. Maya's heart ached. The world, she realized, could be cruel, indifferent, and unfeeling. People passed by without a second glance, whispering about how some deserved their fate, or how life was unfair but unavoidable. She felt powerless. How could one coffee, one small gesture, possibly make a difference in a world that treated him like an invisible shadow? Tears pricked at her eyes. She sat on a nearby bench, watching him struggle, feeling a knot of despair tighten in her chest. Even with her small act of kindness, the man still faced the harshness of life every day. The injustice of it all, the apathy of the crowd, made her feel helpless. Her mind raced with questions she couldn't answer. Was it worth it? Did kindness matter if it was so fleeting, if the world always found a way to crush it? She felt a deep, aching sadness, one that reminded her how fragile humanity could be, and how easily hope could slip through the cracks. Yet, despite it all, she couldn't ignore him. She couldn't walk past without acknowledging his existence. Something told her that even in this cold, uncaring world, small moments of warmth, like her coffee, still held meaning. But would they ever be enough? The next morning, Maya decided to take a different route, uncertain if she would find him again. But as she turned the corner, there he was, same spot, same tattered coat. But something had changed. His eyes lit up as he saw her approach. This time, she didn't hesitate. She handed him another coffee and a small sand, which she had bought, smiling softly. He took the coffee, and for a moment, they just looked at each other in silence. Then, in a voice both trembling and strong, he spoke. "Thank you. You have no idea what this means. Most people just walk by. But you remind me that someone still cares, that life isn't all darkness." Maya felt a lump in her throat. His words were simple, but they cut through all the despair she had felt the day before. They reminded her that kindness, even when it seemed small or unnoticed, could ripple through the world in ways she might never fully understand. Over the next few weeks, Maya continued to bring him food and coffee whenever she could. In return, he shared stories of his life, how he had lost his job, his home, and almost all hope, but how small acts of generosity had kept him alive, kept him believing in goodness. Each encounter was a reminder to Maya that even the smallest gestures could have an enormous impact. One day, as she handed him coffee, he looked at her with a smile that seemed to hold the sun. "You don't know it yet," he said, "but your kindness saved me more than you can imagine." Tears streamed down Maya's face. She realized then that hope could be fragile, but it could also be contagious, spreading quietly through the simplest acts. Maya walked home that day feeling a profound warmth in her chest. She had learned that kindness was never wasted. Even when the world seemed harsh, even when despair pressed hard against the soul, one small gesture, a coffee, a smile, a word, could be enough to light up someone's life, to remind them that they were not invisible. A single act of kindness can change a life. Even when the world feels cold, small gestures matter. Your warmth can reach hearts you may never fully see. Never underestimate the power of a simple act. Because in kindness, we find hope, connection, and the courage to keep going.